Okay. Welcome to this exciting game that went off without a hitch on the pitch. Took a slight while to transition. I'm Mara Trapp. Welcome to this exciting game between 3SB and East Block with an immediate score to our right. We will be right back with you as soon as our camera is in position again. Looking forward to this game. So far, these teams have not played against each other, and in our ranking system have not had any mutual opponents. So this should be an interesting game to see. Obviously, those two teams definitely know each other, being from the Czech Republic, and have definitely played each other and know each other quite well. As soon as we have the camera in position again, I will give you more context. So far, 3SB is currently ranked 1 before this tournament, but they've also only played 4 games. And East Block is currently ranked 6. Again, this is from before this tournament. If you're interested, there will be an update at 5:30 today, including all the games of today that have finished it until that point. And then the final in and out will take place on Monday to see who actually is going to make it to the European Ultimate Club finals in Ostende in Belgium. Both teams have so far won both of their games. Today, one of those is quite close against the same opponent. So we're also promised to have an interesting game going on here. We'll give you more context as soon as we have it, but without a break in between the games, we'll need to give us a chance to put the stream back on. Okay, so East Block should be in white, and 3SB is in their pinks. And that means East Block started on offense and 3SB started on defense in that first point. We should currently be in the second point. And that's another score for East Block. If all my information is correct, that means that they have already scored a break. And like we said, this is going to be a very interesting game. The first score was from Marie Salushka to Radka Maslovyakova. I'm sorry, I'll be mispronouncing a lot of names today. I'll do my best. Threesby with the disc, moving it forward through the middle, and now moving back into Veldsteg. Unfortunately, that disc is too high, giving East Block another chance to score. It looks like Threesby is setting up in a zone defense and moving on the far sideline. Moving the disc quickly and stretching the field with the cutters, doing quite well job. It's a great defense of effort, but East Block can hold on to it. Great defensive effort by 3SB, giving them another chance to score this point. And a great rundown by 3SB. There's some conversation, but now everybody is moving back to the sides. So that is the first score for 3SB. And based on the scoreboard that I can see and that we can see on the screen, the first point that we thought we saw wasn't already starting the game. So we're now even. That was a score from the 21 Dvorakova to the 35 Bulanova for 3SB. Dorokova and Bulanova were already one of the scoreboard leaders for 3SB prior to this game. Let's see what else they can bring. 3SB back in the zone defensive setup. A lot of poaching in the downfield, but 3SB great effort, and the disc is up. Let's see if they can get caught up. So yes, they can. And another short popper and making it into the end zone. It's another score, easy score for East Block. 27 Hutkova to the 31 Mashkova. This shows how, with relatively ease, that East Plus was scoring. It seems like there's not that much wind going on, making it easy to use all the space that they are given downfield. Let's see if 3SB throughout the game can tighten up that zone defense. And this is a roller pole. It's not going that far, but it's giving the time to catch up for the defense. And a great cut from the middle, getting to the disc. And the disc is up, and it's going to the left. Can they reach it? Can they reach it? No. It's going slightly too far, giving East Block a first break chance. East Block taking some time to pick up the disc. Usually supposed to take it up within 20 seconds, which I think we're within. That zone seems really, really tight on the marks, but East Block making it through the middle. Going to the sideline and hoping for another popper. But again, the cup is very, very close, making it really hard to get rid of that disc. Moving it to the middle and backwards. Currently very much great pressure by 3SB. Let's see if East Block can find another way over the cup like they did in the previous point. Slight forward movement. As is unfortunately usual, it's very difficult to see numbers on the screen. Here's the over-the-top throw that I expected, and now they've reached far beyond the cup, so they're just carrying it around as far as they can, and then through the middle again, using the space given, moving the disc immediately to the far sideline and back to the middle again. Great work by the East Block handling team. Was attempting to crush the cup. The cut is making great space downfield and great grab on that far sideline. Moving into the middle, great undercut and keeping the disc moving. Keeping it in the end zone, you just need one more pass to the front. And a blade over the top, and they make it. It's another score for East Block. Maketa Hutkova to Michaela Mashkova. Again. No, that's the score from. But we could definitely see great defensive pressure by this zone, making them throw a lot of passes, which is mostly, I think, what the intention of this zone is, forcing them to take either risky passes over the top or forcing a lot of throws to tire their defense out, the offense out. This can, over the run of the game, really turn into an effective strategy for 3SB. Score was Balborikova to Vavrova, and that's a great pull, landing in and making it really difficult to field. Eastbrook coming with a poachy match defense on the handling, and a great blade over the top from 3SB. Unfortunate misconnection, and another chance for East Block. And another misconnection, giving 3SB a chance to hold on to this low point, and they're moving it quickly down to the near sideline. And back to the far sideline. Facebook seems to have switched into a zone setup, and another score for 3SB down at that far corner. Saurova to Kanchka. Great pressure by 3SB to get that disc back. It's always a little bit more difficult to play defense after having played offense before, to get that mental switch in. But they've put up enough pressure for making East Block also turn on a throw that was slightly too far back. This just would have landed out of bounds. So that's why they're carrying it to the brick point in the middle of the pitch. 3SB again in a zone setup. The zone just look very, very close. The moment I say it, they back off a bit. And that throw was too far and making it really difficult to read. That's the first break chance for 3SB. And this is going up, 2 people under it, but also this disc is sailing slightly out of bounds in the back. East Block back with the disc. And the disc is up, and she reads it really well, getting the disc high, moving it to the middle. Hadova with the disc. What a great throw. Great grab on the far sideline. The disc is up, and a couple of people under it, and one of them is from East Block, and that's another score. Kotrobova to 36. Hadova, that's Hadova's first score in this game, but she's already put stats into the scoreboard before this game. And it's in the top 3 for East Block. Great fielding from the pull from 3SB, and they've almost to the half and over half now. Creating a lot of space. And using a lot of undershots currently to get the disc. The disc is up, there are 2 people under it, and a great grab by 3SB to tow that into this end zone. Great job from the number 25, Zhikusova, and great put by number 1, Havlova, to make it 3-4. This is a very, very tight game. A great pull. This might have been the best one so far. East Block starting in a 3-4 setup, expecting the zone by now. Moving quickly through the middle. We're almost on the brick mark already. Moving the disc. Great shot of behind that mark. And another score for East Block. Shekova to Hadova again. Hadova now with 2 goals up on the scoreboard for East Block. Currently, it seems the throws that East Block takes to get the disc through the middle are somewhat risky and difficult throws, but they certainly have them. And so far, I've been moving the disc quite comfortably through this zone. We'll see if 3SB changes the zone a bit, or maybe tries out a match defense, because if they're playing against a match defense against East block, and East block is putting on a match defense. So far they've been able to get free, so they probably should also be able to challenge throws. So maybe we'll see a slight defensive change. A roller pole is going out of bounds, so they'll have to take it at the sideline, and that's giving 3SB East block enough time to set up the zone setup that they're using now. But 3SB finding the spot in the cup to move the disc to the far sideline and back to the near one immediately. Great throw over the top and through the middle again, using the majority position that they have, and then they score again in their favorite part of the end zone on the far sideline in the corner. Mrazova to Kanchka. That's another great score for 3SB. It's somewhat unusual, but a great choice on East Block's side. I believe the number 35, Baborikova, was in the cup setup, and instead of facing towards the disc, they decided to defend and look towards the pitch and pick up people quite aggressively. Face marking makes it difficult to anticipate where the throw is going, but makes it also really hard to get free. So that's an interesting and somewhat newer approach to playing these cup zones. Let's see how it works out throughout the game. Another decent pull from 3SB, and we're somewhat already almost at the brick mark. Great cut into, and unlucky to not catch that disc properly. The disc is up, and 3SB can connect in the other end zone as well, which makes the score even again. And we're back to the exciting and interesting game that I've promised and anticipated at the beginning. This is the first break for 3SB. Tojnerova to Otova. There are two people, presume maybe related, players with the name Otova. This was number 7, Mina Otova, who scored.
Seconds offense.
Three speeds so far very successful, and they not only use the short passes but also creating space by throwing towards players on the far sideline to create a lot of space. And we're back into the point, and that was a great grab to keep that disc alive. And moving to the far sideline, the great upline cut, and I just keep moving that way. There's a lot of space on the near sideline if they want to choose a break pass, and this is presumably what they're doing right now. And we're back to the far sideline and open side. Great break throw, but unfortunately can't connect to either of those cutters. So this is another break chance for 3SB. They're somewhat on a roll right now. If they put this in, this would be their third score in a row, putting them ahead for the first time in the game. It's a great cut and a good high release throw, and this is difficult to reel in, but perfect catch here on the near sideline. This bander is slightly too short and caught by East block. So we're moving towards the other direction again, and this is now looking like a match defense, and East block choosing a somewhat horizontal or split stack setup. And the disc is up, and we have 2 people running, 3 people running towards it, but a great reeled in by East block, and we're almost over the finish line, and that's another score for East block. 52 Chikova to 27 Hukova. Uchkova. I'm trying my best.
Seconds offense. Offense ready.
You can hear the volunteers, or at least I can hear the volunteers telling the offense that they should be ready. And this is a good signal and hoping that it's actually working. We're almost to the half pitch line. East block again in a match defense. A great cut by 3SB to get to the far sideline. The disc is up, and she can reel it in, and it's another score on the far sideline. Keeping the score even, 6.6. I can tell you after the game what our algorithm told us would be the most likely outcome. That's another assist from Sikishova to Havlova for 3SB. And this is another potentially great pull, but well read by East block, and 3SB again in the zone. Great move to the near sideline and a great put into the middle. And another score from East block. Great work from Havelkova, who put that inside throw into the middle to open up the field for East block. And the score is from Huskova to Mashkova. This is a so far extremely quickly game. We had one relatively long point, which was also the break for East Block quite early on. But other than that, most points have not lasted longer than 2 or a maximum 3 minutes. But a lot of scores are very clean holds, very fast. So. Frisbee moving it very, very quickly before the defense can set up. And a miscommunication between Frisbee leads to another turn and another break opportunity for East Block.
Sideline off, Andy, sideline off. We have to stay sideline.
East Block using the space that they have and making good choice to not hack it at that point, but rather try to keep it moving. Great grab, getting a second attempt in the middle there. Great, moving it over the top and then immediately keeping the disc moving so the cup can't really adjust. Putting it forward as far as they can. And then great finding the point in the middle and then another score for East Block. It's another break. The scoreline is now 6-8 for East Block. East Block is leading. They've reached halftime, which should result in setting up to the opposite from what they've started. That is why East Block is currently moving to the other side of the pitch. As far as I could tell, East Block started on offense, which now means East Block is going to pull and 3SP is going to receive the pull. Contrary to a lot of international Worlds events that work with the WFDF appendix, which gives us a 7-minute halftime or requires a 7-minute halftime. We don't have that here at the EUF and the EUCS series, which just keeps the games moving quite a lot quicker for us, the spectators. But in case you were watching the European Youth Ultimate Championships last week, that's where that halftime is coming from. Let's see if 3SB can adjust their defense to put more pressure on East Block's offense. In the second half, they done quite well for the first couple of points, but now East Block seems to have found a way. This roller pole is already halfway across the pitch, so 3SP just needs to move it the additional 50-60 meters down the line. And they're working quite well through to the open side. And another miscommunication by 3SB. Giving East Block another chance. And the disc is going up, but see if they can run it down. Yes, they can. Now somebody else needs to catch up. so that the disc can be moved into the end zone as well. But that was unfortunately a misconnection or a great defense by 3SB, giving 3SB another shot. Disc is high, and East Block is under it first to get it down. On that far sideline, there's a foul, an accepted foul call on the mark. So the disc still kind of coming back in on one, moving it to the middle. And a far throw, and another great grab and catch by East Block. This is another break for East Block. The throw was from Valtorova to Rushkova. Number 7 to number 74, respectively. 3SB's very comfortable using the disc to move it on the open side, which is the easier throw, and what they've done quite successfully on a couple of points in the first half. What I like to see is if they trusted their handlers more and would more willingly attempt to break the mark. Currently, the East Block mark is standing very much on the inside, so the round should be possible, giving them more options where to throw the disc. It looks to me like a couple of those misconnections were forced from the I would need to move the disc immediately forward. Let's see what's happened now. That pole is very short, crossing it even in their own, the out of bounds line, even within their own sideline. Question is whether they want to pick it up and bring it into the brick. Apparently that's what they decided to do and called previously. An unlucky drop from the handler. East Block on the far sideline, trapped. The great grab to reel that disc back in, and we're still stuck on that far sideline. Goes to the corner, to the front cone, and great heads-up defense from 3SB to get into that disc. Another great grab by 3SB. East Block also setting up in somewhat of a zone setup, but giving a lot of space into the middle. And the disc is going up. If it's coming back in, great toe in by 3SB to get that score. Great work by Mrasova to keep in bounds and catch the disc before stepping out of bounds. But also a good and visionary throw by Havlova to get the disc away from that middle, that crowded middle, to move it into the end zone. Great choices. that's what I've been noticing earlier as well, is 3SB has great throws and they have the capacity to catch difficult throws and difficult places across the field. If they want to come in slightly closer, they need to use those more. And we see a match defense and a crowded upfield space for East Block. Great to reel that in. Pinova. And a lovely shot to the middle. Moving it on the open side. And a difficult catch, but caught it in the end. So almost on the front cone and over the top, and somebody caught it again. I think there was a defensive effort in between. And a great shot through the middle, not through the middle, under the hands of the mark to get into the end zone for another score. Pinova to Mashkova. Pinova had at least 2 really good throws in this last point. One of them to move it into the middle halfway across the field, and then another cheeky inside shot for that score. This is really exciting to see.
Útok, 15 sekund.
We have another pole to the brick mark, and 3SB setting up with 4 handlers, moving it to the far sideline as quickly as they can to move the defense. And now we're also seeing some breakthroughs. So moving it to center and back to the far sideline. Really lucky that the East Block defender didn't get to that disc first. And another great up the line throw. Moving the disc to the far sideline almost alone. And a great shot to the middle of the end zone. And that's another score. Another assist by Chikashova to Bulanova. Both of them securely up there on the 3SB scoreboard. The score is now 8-10. 3SB currently up 2 breaks. With him starting on offense at the beginning means they have currently a comfortable lead. But we'll see what 3SB, if 3SB can put the pressure back on. They also already got a break, so they definitely produced turns. So this game is not even close to being over. A great read to catch that pole. That was really difficult. There's, I believe, a travel call on the pitch, so Havelkova gets the disc back. Everyone is resetting to where they were at the point where she had the disc. And we can also get to see what's happening with the disc. Okay, there's a long discussion on what this stall is coming back in on. Great throw to the middle by Hadova. And I think Hadova is back with the disc on the far sideline. Great over-the-top shot to go to the far sideline. This is slightly off, but Havelkova reads it easily and gets back. Another lovely throw over the top, unfortunately followed by a throw that's slightly too slow and too deep. And there's another break chance for 3SB. They're back to moving the disc to the open side, but they currently have also enough space to do so. Just down the sideline. That was a lovely throw, but really difficult to place it well. And East Block is back with the disc. It's too high, and then red wall by 3SB, and immediately put back into play. And a good heads up by East Block to get to that disc first. And the disc is up. And can she run it down? Yes, she can. That's another score for East Block. Kotrobova to Hutskova. Hutskova currently leading 3SB with 2 assists and 2 goals in this game. And the pull is up. And it's a roller going out of bounds here at the sideline. So the disc is coming back in on the sideline. East Block already set up in the cup. A great throw over the top and almost caught by 3SB. But this is another chance for another break. That throws slightly too low, giving 3SB the disc back. The disc is up with up to 4 people under it, and the person who got to there first is from East Block. Disc in the middle of the pitch. Great lefty throw. Looks like there's a foul call. Everyone stopped moving and accepted foul call. So the disc should be coming back in on 1. So that means 1 is the first stall count that will be uttered next. Great defensive pressure from 3SB, especially on that second handler. Great grab on that far sideline, moving it slightly further to the middle. Almost on the doorstop, just need to move slightly further in. And a cheeky throw gets them there. That's another score for East Block and another break.
Jeżeli chodzi o ominięcia metrów przed dwóch powóz, byliśmy w lekko, graliśmy jest Sokal, więc mega podjara. Ale tak boiska rozładane, my nam razem z nimi gniataliśmy tą...
Udeszkowa to Walterowa. Scoreline is now 8-12 for East Block. Going into this game, Three with only 4 games on record was currently leading in the ranking, whereas East Block was ranked 6th, and no one has so far used any timeouts, as far as I can tell, in this game. And I'll set it in this moment. East Block is taking a timeout based on the signals. They have 2 in the south. While they take a break, so will I, and I'll see you in a minute. This women's pool at the summer tour in Trnava is playing a round robin. So every one of the 6 teams is playing against each other, and then we move on to placement games that we will see tomorrow. For the team that comes out on top, that will guarantee them a wild card, and that means they get a guaranteed spot at the EUCF in September. That is unfortunately also only true if they manage to have 10 games, which I believe should be possible for all the teams here to manage. And the pole is up. It's another roller, and it's going out of bounds. Not entirely out of bounds on the far sideline. East Block, Threesby moving the disc quickly through the zone on the cup and over the top, and unlucky that throw could not connect. Those hammers are difficult to read, and that's another chance for East Block. Threesby now setting up slowly into a match defense, but another great pressure on that dump handler. And the disc is up, and it's slightly too short, but it can still connect to the East block cutter. Great grab on that next row. See if they can move it into the end zone. And that was a really difficult choice for that dump pass. The stall count must have been really high. Great pressure from 3SB getting tall to get the disc. And this is the second timeout on this point, this time called by 3SB. I believe they might have been discussing what the stall count was in case there was already one. Yeah.
Wygrało 2, przegrało 1, Stajdy tak samo, wygrało 2, przegrało 1, a teraz Sad i Flow 15 seconds offense! Panowie, za 19 minut zaczynamy mecz.
The other two teams that won wildcards in the women's divisions was Jinx Midnight, competing at the Elite Invite in May, and Atletico in the Summer Tour in Malmö, I believe. Atletico, as far as I can tell, is only 6 games so far, which is not enough to qualify. If you believe the ranking is something new that it's been trying out this year, so we'll see how it's going. If you have feedback, you can go to the website of the European Ultimate Federation and comment on what you believe. There's, I think, still poll and a survey running. Just be very specific in what you think might be improved on. And the comps committee will probably take that into account. It goes from the ranking algorithm to what are the deadlines for roster changes, etc. I, for one, am very excited for the ranking system, and I think it gives a certain opportunity to create really good and interesting games and create an entire season feel. But it might need some adjustment for the next season. Great shot through the cup to move the disc to the middle and to the far sideline. And now they're moving it quickly again, through speed, crushing into the cup, and then they now pressed on the far sideline, going over the top again. Great grab to reel that in, and then need to see what happens now. It's actually very difficult to distinguish with these teams. The disc is up and slightly too far. But we definitely saw that 3SB can move through the cup and can throw great breakthrows to get the disc moving into this side, in the other side. That was a insanely lucky grab. And the disc is up, and we have one 3SB defender under it, and they're going up to get to it first. There might have been some body contact, so we'll see what the discussion on the pitch means. If you initiate, okay, the foul call seems to be retracted. The turnover stands. Just to clarify, if you initiate any body contact that might have affected the play, that is usually considered a foul. But what you need to just consider is, did it affect the play? Was the disc potentially already gone? And Threesby back on that far sideline. Through the middle. And I think it's really high and slightly too far for the two cutters to catch up to it. And we'll cover back with the disc. Setting up a great dump pass to get the disc moving again. And the disc is up and two people are on it, and Threesby defender jumps up, but East Block got to it first. That is another score. Udakova to Zitova, and another break for East Block. The score is now 8-13. Threesby so far has only scored 2 points in the second half, whereas East Block managed to score 5. 2 of them were breaks, meaning that they started on defense in that point and then managed to still score the point. If you're sticking around for the next game, we will have another open game back on the stream. And it will be a quarter final. And the disc is up. And another score for Threesby. If I'm not mistaken, the next upcoming game in the open division that we will see on this field 1 is Outsitters against Uprising Ultimate. Uprising is who you saw in the previous game as well. And the score is from Nimichkova Tojnarova to the 94 Kanchka. That was a really nice and quick score from Threesby, making the score 9-13 and closing the gap.
Ostatnia rzecz z rozgrzewki, drille, potrzebuje 3 linie. Olaj, D1, D2, wszędzie. Dawajcie, chop, 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 chop. Olaj pierwszy, D1, D2.
East Block with the disc at half line, and the disc's up, and a great read by the Threesby defense. That throw's very difficult to reach the intended target, and Threesby on the move for a potential another break. Their first break in the second half. Moving it down sideline, slightly to the middle, and the disc is up, and we have a couple people running towards it, and it didn't connect to the intended target and then continued to roll far behind the trees. So East Block gets another chance. Let's see if 3SB can keep that defensive pressure up that they've had the last couple of points to give them another chance. Well caught on the near sideline. And great defensive pressure. And that was a good attempt by, I believe, Hajlukova to get to it. But the disc is up and reeled in by 3SB. But it's called out of bounds, being probably too far out at the back line of the end zone. So another shot for East Block. Good grab under pressure, and another one. 3SB really pushing what their defensive pressure was and making great throw, and another great throw to move it to the near sideline, and a perfect inside forehand to score from Chikova to Hadova. This is now the scoreline 9-4. This is the first match point of the game. 3SB now need to score 6 points in a row if they want to win this. And East Block just needs 1. But regardless of how this game ends in the end, as they're playing a round robin and they've won the previous 2, 3SB is still in a very good position for the upcoming games to play for the wild card in the placement games. And the pole is up, and we have another roller. This one also rolling out of bounds at the near sideline, immediately centering the disc and keeping it moving from 3SB. Great grab to keep it alive. Unlucky miscommunication on 3SB side, so this is the first chance for East Block to end the game, and a hack is going up, and it is throwing very, very far to the far sideline and out of bounds. I think there's an injury call. That means everyone should be stopping moving until that person is off the pitch, and then the disc should be checked in by the nearest defender. Did East Block just... Okay. Just for the future, an injury call is a stoppage. Everyone should stop moving until it's clear who is going off and who is going in. And then the disc should be checked in, and then you should start moving. But it's really difficult to keep all of these rules in mind. And if everyone on the pitch is fine, that is also how these rules work. It's a self-officiated game. So if everyone agrees on something, they can do what they want. Great put over the top. This is unlucky Unfortunately, we couldn't see if there was a hand block, which I think because the disc moved in a very interesting way to land out of bounds on this side from the original throwing intention. Let's see if 3SB can get the disc back. That's coming in slightly outside of view. Great marking pressure. There's a stall out call, and it is contested, so the disc is coming back in, and it should be coming back in on 8. Unfortunately, our AI producer decided, oh, here we are. This is where the game is. Korsova with the disc. And a great mark by Toshnarova. Signals saying 8. And the disc is up immediately. And a lucky catch by the second person for a score. That means the game is over. East Block 1, 15-9, which is not essentially what our what an incredible throw on the 9 to get that disc to where it needed to go. Great job, Korsova. This is the game. We will see both of these teams presumably again. And congratulations for East Block to the win. It is not what our ranking algorithm predicted, but if they don't have as many games, it's really difficult. So the ranking algorithm is more precise the more games and more data we have. See you soon. I will be around for the next game, which you should also be, because it's going to be really interesting. It's going to be one of the open quarterfinals. And it's, if I'm not mistaken, Outsiders against Uprising Ultimate. I've been Maritrap. See you soon. Welcome back. My name is Meritrap, and we will continue with the action in Trnava after seeing an exciting game between 3SB and East Block just now, East Block 1. We had Uprising already on the screen 2 games ago against Terrible Monkeys, which got really close in the end, but they unfortunately lost slightly. That is why we have the pleasure of seeing them again. Outsiders and Uprising have played against each other before in the early season in Vienna. Outsiders won that one on Universe. I believe Uprising is in black, and that means Outsiders is probably in white. Like I said, they've played against each other before. The mutual opponents that they've played in this season already, they've had very, very similar games, which is why we expect this score to also be very, very close. Let's see if this ends up being true. Both of them currently outside of the top 10 ranking, top 16 ranking in the open division, but those don't include these games. So what a great poll to begin. We'll see what happens now. Discs up, and Asus manages to reel it in. Okay. Great score from Outsiders. Wilishka to Kladish. Again, these names are going to be slightly difficult for me, and with the sun, it's sometimes difficult to see the numbers anyway. I'll do my best. And another poll is going up. Very far. Good catch by Uprising to keep it in. A classical Verts deck, and great defense from Outsiders getting in front of that disc, giving them already a break chance this early in the game. And the disc is up, and it is reeled back in within the end zone. I can see no call. That means there's another score and a first break. Matusz Knapp to Jakub Malek. We're off to an interesting and quick game. What a great start from Outsiders. From Slovakia against the Polish team Uprising. We have a zone setup from Outsiders, or at least a poachy defense on the handless, but it looks like a zone. So far, great work from Uprising to keep the disc moving and moving it through the cup as well. Great patience to just keep it moving and using the open spaces and shots. Unlucky. Difficult to thread that needle, and this is another chance for Outsiders. Great grab behind the back, and it just goes up, and on a second attempt it is reeled in, and another high throw, and another score, and another break. Outsiders off to a strong start. Again, the assist by Matus Knap to Dimitro Churostan. So far, Outsiders with this 3-0 lead. We'll see and expect Uprising from the last game on the stream that they can manage to get back into it and even from unfortunate start into the game can still manage to turn it around and keep it going. So we'll see if that happens now as well. The pull is up and very strong. Fielded well by Uprising. And great cut and keeping it moving. It's on the far sideline. Great J cut to get that disc. And again, an unlucky shot up the line. And the disc is up, and we have two people under it. And the outside displays gets to it first. And it is called in not only on the pitch, but also as a score. Dominik Daniak, number 6, to Svetoslav Bolo. I expect that there might be a timeout taken by Uprising. They have 2 per half. So this might be a good moment to refocus and re-enter this game. So for Outsiders, started very, very strong into the game. very aware and playing good, tight match defense. But Uprising also has good throws and has worked it well down the field. So they might need to consider that some of the throwing decisions made it harder for them than they needed to, in a need to keep the disc moving. It often had throws just down the line or through two defenders, which makes it really, really hard to get the disc to where it needs to go. But one more additional cut might make it easier. So I would love to see Uprising with a little bit more calmness to keep the disc within their team, and then the push towards the goal line.
Ja nie wiem, czy jakby według mnie, jak ja podałem do ciebie, to jest bez sensu, żebyś ty grał do Krystiana. Któryś pod linią, jeśli ty masz power position i normalnie nabiegasz tak z dyskiem, żeby się zatrzymać i podać pod linię do Krystiana. To chyba bez sensu. Ale wiesz, no powinien trochę bardziej jak trochę obronię, bo jak tam coś jest przy tej linii, to żeby kontynuacji, żeby nie tracić stolu, bo ty byś mu powiedział, nie uciekaj, rozumiesz, raz, dwa, trzy, zanim on wyczyści, podaje się zawsze, bo zobacz, ta osoba, której on poda, się staje tak jakby nim, a przed sobą już ma otwarte, dlatego właśnie dobrze, że też on jest rozbiegnięty, podajesz, twoja rola...
And another great pole, landing fine, but presumably fielded well by Uprising. They're now playing against a zone, and could move the disc immediately to the far side, but they don't. Great over the top shot, and then good recovery. And then another throw. Let's see if he can get there. Unfortunately, he can't. But it looked like a good choice and just unlucky. It was slightly too fast for the cutter to get to it. Let's see what Outsiders will do with this next chance. They're setting up in a vertical stack, as they have in the first point as well. After those, they have been overwhelmingly fast breaks without a clear setup necessary or possible. Good clam defense by around the stack, but Outsiders using the handler space well. Now pressure to the far sideline, and an unlucky short pass leads to a turn on the goal line, making the field that Uprising needs to work very, very small. That zone looks extremely close together. Great job for Uprising, keeping calm and inching over the scoreline to position themselves well and getting their first score in. That was very, very well done by Uprising to actually keep calm in front of that end zone. The assist is from Adam Maciejewski to Michal Zygmunt. Really good job by Zygmunt to position himself slowly and ever so slowly over the goal line, being mostly ignored by the Outsiders defense, setting up in a very, very tight mark and fence around and cup around the thrower. Another pole is going up, and it looks like it might have landed out of bounds by the lack of urgency that the players display on the pitch. And we can expect them to carry it to the brick mark. And they are. This is only the second time we've seen the Outsitters offensive line out so far. Great over scuba over the top. And another great around and putting it into the middle. Outsitters being very calm and patient and using the open spaces that they have. And a great throw around. It's not in yet, but now it is. That's another score and a clean hold for the Outsitters O-line. Number 34, Jabala to Ajduk, 87. Prior to this game, prior to this tournament this weekend, Outsitters is sitting on ranking 26 and Rising is on 41. So the best chance they have of playing EUCS is playing for the wild card. And that means winning this tournament and also definitely winning this game. We're back. Uprising displaying this calmness and moving the discs to clearly open people. Unfortunately, that disc was too low and connected with the ground first before it could be caught, giving giving Outsitters another chance. They're setting up in their vert stack again, and great run through defense. There is a foul call. For me, it's really difficult to ascertain if there was body contact prior to getting to that disc, and that body contact mostly because they're both running in very relatively straight lines, and also the connection isn't as great as I would like it to be. Good resolution on the pitch. It's always good to call something and then consider what your opponent has to say. Retracting this call, giving Uprising another chance. Technically, the Outsitters players, as the new defense, would have had to check that disc in. Good high release over the top. And using the handlers again to keep the disc moving and change the angle of attack towards the end zone and see if something new comes up. And the disc is going up, and it is collected by Outsitters. Almost no chance for one of these Uprising players to get there first. Good read by that player. Outsitters with another chance to score, and well read and caught disc in the middle. And the disc is up. Can he get there before it sails out of bounds? And he can. That is another score. Daniel got us to Matusz Knapp. And that means the score is now 6-1 and another break. But as we've seen in this point, Uprising is capable of playing really tight match defense and is hungry for those run-through Ds. So we will see if that pressure can be increased in the next couple of points to not only put them on the scoreboard more, but maybe close in the gap somewhat. That's a great pull, especially difficult to read, giving Outsiders defense a good chance to catch up and set up the way they want to, which is a zone setup. And really well done by that Uprising cutter to catch that disc even though it was touched first. That is the intention and head up play that we need to see in the next couple of points. Another great attempt to keep the disc alive, but unfortunately it was down, so Outsiders on offense again. And they tow it in on the scoreline. That's another score. And another break. Dominik Janik to Martin Bolwanski. We've almost reached halftime here. If the game is continuing to go the way it is currently, the score is 7-1. Halftime is at 8. It looks to me like Uprising Ultimate just needs to stay a bit more calm and trusting their cutters to get fully open instead of taking shots as early as they have in the stall count, unless the stall count is rising quicker than anticipated here. It's another good, reasonably good pull. Yep, good pull. But great job. And the disc is up. And can he get there? He's running, and he's got there. That's another score. And a really easy, well done score for Uprising. Great hack by Chris Prosser. And good run from Filip Kudlinski to get to that disc. I believe there might be another timeout called. Not entirely sure by whom. But while they take a break, so will I.
nasze dresy.
Pojdzie, oni są trochę nasrali, ja sobie
And we're back. Out just setting up to receive the pull on the far end zone to our right. Great fielding of the pull, and this is up, immediately shooting deep, and a great run, and that's the score. That's another score. The outsiders, Matej Sorovi with a great hug to Timotej Hajduk. The timeout was taken by Uprising. This is halftime now. So Uprising gets to start on another offense point, where they switch sides. Let's see what's going on in the other quarterfinals. There's a very tight quarterfinal on field 2 taking place between Terrible Monkeys and Panthers Wrocław. Currently 6-5 for Terrible Monkeys. Ketchup Grass leads 4-3 against Amada, and 3SB is up 6-2 against for FWD. But back to our game. That's just almost ready to set up for defense. Let's see if the second half is closer than the first one. Okay, that's a very short half-time break. And the poll is going up. And it looks pretty nice. And it's caught well by Uprising. That's just back in the zone setup. Mostly focused on containment. But if you throw over the top, it gives you the chance to hack it deep, and you have 2 defenders under it. But can you read it first? Nope. Unfortunately, Uprising can't get to it first. But you can see good sportsmanship on the pitch, checking in with each other quickly and saying, nope, that was a good play. Outsiders with another chance to score. Well worked by Outsiders, and the disc is up. And a lucky grab. And that looks like another score. Starting again with a break out of half is Sviatoslav Bolo to Matusz Knap. Matusz Knap currently leading the scoreboard for Outsiders with 2 assists and 2 goals. As much as I think that the throw to the end zone that Uprising did was a good choice or an understandable choice, I would really like for them to keep the calm that they had in the previous couple of throws and passes, because I think they could make their life easier if they did. At the same time, Outsiders is playing a very, very, very clean game, making it really hard to push against. They're setting up in a zone again with a slightly different zone setup, just 2 handler defenders, and that's creating a lot of more space in the middle of the pitch than before. But we're back to 3 people defending the handlers. Great catch here on the sideline, and the disc is up, and it probably a defensive play by Outsiders, by the way, that the disc tumbled to the ground. Outsiders keeping the disc moving. Always ready to have it if necessary, just to pass it laterally or even backwards to just reset the score count and change the angle. This hack is going up, and there are 2 people underneath, and it's well read by the Outsiders player, but he seems to have not caught it properly and fallen on the ground. Uprising setting up in a VAT stack against a match defense, and immediately getting the disc to move quickly to the first 2 cutters. I believe there might have been a pick call on the stack. People slightly moving, but there must be a misconnected switch if this player is open as far as it is. Great run to catch the disc and presumably well towed in. Or there might have been a discussion. I think there's a discussion about a travel call onto that far sideline. So the disc is currently back in the middle. Uprising currently moving the disc calmly and somewhat short passes and keeping them safe. Great reset. Moving it to the near sideline. Difficult throw, but it connects. And no call, just continuation. And a great run through D, layout D by Outsitters. Great undercut. And the disc is up again, and we have two people underneath, and the Outsitters cutter gets there first. That's another score! Dominik Danek to Jakub Malik. And the score is 10-2. Outsiders clearly displaying how calm and efficient they've been scoring throughout the game. The moment they get the disc, they are very, very rarely giving it back. Creating very little opportunity for Uprising to close in on the score and never letting up onto in their defense. So Outsiders is putting a lot of defensive pressure in this game. That's a really impressive showing by the Slovakian team. Again, the other games are somewhat closer. Panthers Wrocław on field 2 is currently up against Terrible Monkeys. That's a new change. Last time we checked, it was 6-5. Now it's 7-6 for the Panthers. Ketchup Grass and Armada are 6-6 each side. And 3SB is also currently against the and just going up for ball that looks incredible, but I think unfortunately landed on the line. Might have landed on the line. If it lands on the line, that's considered out of bounds and should be carried towards the front of the end zone. If it landed inbounds and rolled out of bounds, if it landed on the line, it would be brick. If it landed inbounds and then slid out, it would be carried towards the goal line. This seems to be what the players agreed on. Uprising playing calm in horizontal passes. Outsiders isn't challenging as much, giving them these options. It's very much what a containment zone is intended to do, just forcing them to do a lot of lateral passes rather than moving forwards. Great grab on that high rising score, high rising throw. The way to beat a containment zone is to first move behind the cup and then try to overrun it in a way that gives you the forward momentum. The more important part of it is just keeping calm. There should be always an easy option free, and you can make small meters with those easy options as well. So as long as you use them, you shouldn't be able to lose the disc. We're only halfway through, so we have a lot of time left in this game. It's a great job by Uprising to keep calm and just really taking those small passes. What they could try to do more is actually crush into the cup by moving the disc in that way. But so far, this is going really well. And that was a great defensive play by Outsiders. The biggest risk in a containment zone is that you get impatient. Great job from Outsiders. And a great throw that is up. We have two people underneath, and Outsiders get to it first. There is a discussion that it might have been out of bounds in the back. And we'll see what the solution to that call is. A discussion, and it is called a score based on what the sideline is saying. So that's another score. Matus Knapp to Tomasz Malik. 11-2. It's a good display of spirit to have a calm discussion about this. You might be tempted in a self-officiated game to just follow what might be beneficial to you, especially if the scoreline is as far from each other as it is here. But great sharing from Uprising to call it and then consider the opponent's point of view. There aren't many spirit scores in already for this tournament, so I can't tell you that is what's the perception that other teams have. Great break to the outside and an interesting and difficult throw, but it connects and it is another score. Great throw and placing by Zimura, and great read by Oscar Luke to catch that in and read it as well as he did. Scores 11-3. So far, we've roughly played 46 minutes. So of the official time cap, there's almost 34 minutes left to go, 33 now. That is ample opportunity for Uprising to put in more scores to close the gap. And we'll see if that happens now. It's very low pole, but making it easier to pick up the person you're defending. Great throw. There's an Uprising player on the ground. I believe there might have been a foul, but just running through. And an injury call. So for great defensive pressure, but Outsiders is able to reel it in on that far sideline. And they're almost over the line. And and it's another score. Jan Rosina to Timotej Hajduk. Another clean hold for Outsiders. If an accepted offensive foul happens anywhere on the pitch, the stall count isn't changed. Just so you know. If this was a foul and if it was accepted, but it's just a rule that you might have not known, and now you do. And again, we have somewhat. That is an accepted foul call. The cup is very close together, making it really difficult to move. Great scuba over the top. And now, again, Uprising being very calm to keep the disc moving. And another great throw over the top to get it into the middle. But if there's no choice, they're now very happy to just keep it moving laterally. And the disc is up, and we have two people under it, and it's reeled in by Uprising for another score. Jan Rosina put that disc very nice and in front of his cutter Timotej Hajduk, and we had another person coming in case that might have not connected. No, wait, those are the people that we just had. Here we go. Mikolaj Tomchuk to Bartolomej Skoronek. I take back what I said about Jan Rosina and Timotej Hajduk. They might have done that as well, but I was talking about Nikolai Tomchuk and Ptolemy Skrorovnik. This is exactly the calm offense I would like to see more of from Uprising, and putting the disc into the space so that the cutters can attack it rather than have to grab behind themselves.
Daj chłopaki defense, pomóżmy im.
What a great pull! Read well by Outsitters. It really pays to run down. Misconnection for Outsitters was just a great chance for Uprising. This might be the first time. Well, let's see if they can put it in. Unlucky that the reset didn't work, and giving Outsiders another chance to hold on to this point. Great connection for Outsiders. The disc is up, and that looks like another score. And it's the exact same people who scored it last time. Jan Rosina to Timotej Hajduk. That goes to show they are also very capable of the thing that I said and commented before, putting the disc in front of their defender, in front of their cutter, and out of range for the defender. Great job! It is now 13-4. The reason I laughed earlier in this point is if you are supposed to bring the disc back in from the sideline, you're technically supposed to put your foot on the pitch and not on the line. But especially if you then move your pivot foot that is outside of the field, that was a little bit funny, but not really affecting the game. That's why it's not called on the pitch, because the travel didn't really impact his ability to throw. Great collection by Uprising, putting it up, and that's another score! They've now officially scored more often in the second half than in the first half. Philip Kudlinski to Jan Musial. 13-5. Let's see if they could put more of these scores in, because they're clearly able to play with exactly the space that they have. Let's see if this game gets slightly closer in the second half.
Nie wiem, ale ja właśnie podchodzę, bo Słanie zrobił tak, że wszyscy poszli się...
Great throw over the top and to the far sideline, to the near sideline, and well towed in to keep the disc alive. Good attempt, but the outside players caught it first. And that's another score on the far sideline. Alex Chabala to Jakub Malek. This means we're now at match point. In case you didn't know, there's a match point hand signal. According to the WIFDIF hand signal rules, it is essentially a dab, raising your hands to the left side and then pointing towards the team that won. So there's a two-step process here. Dab first and then point at the team that only needs one more point to score, to win the game. The disc is back in play. We again have the containment zone set up from outsiders. That has served them well so far. But Uprising keeping it calm to keep the disc moving. That was a great throw down the line. Let's see what they're doing now. Moving it backwards to just keep the disc moving. And then a great throw through the middle. And another one. And it's just meters away over the goal line. Uprising very content moving it horizontally right now. And over the top, and a great score in the far corner. Piotr Wrocław to Kamil Raticek. They only need 9 points to win. So 9 breaks in a row for Uprising would win them this game. Whereas Outsiders now have the opportunity to start on offense every single time and just need 1 more point. And the pole is up. Really well done, chased by... It was a great pull and well chased by Uprising. And disc is up, and it's going very far and very fast. Can he get there? If he connects, it's a score. Unfortunately, it's slightly too far, giving Uprising a chance to get their first break in this game. And the disc is immediately thrown back. A hack and connected well. And that's the first break for Uprising. 1 down, 8 more to go. That's not true.
On nie ma korków!
Ja zagram!
Ja mam kontuzję, nie jak to się pokazuje, tak? Już zapomniałem, bo nigdy nie miałem.
That was a great hack by Adam Maciejewski to Bartolomew Skorovnik. Another great cut by Skorovnik. Uprising now committed to chasing down the pole. Unfortunately, it lands out of bounds, giving Outsiders the additional 18 meter to the brick marks from their own end zone line.
Pomagamy sobie wzajemnie, każdy wygrywa swój. Ajo! Edgar, Ajo! Ajo! Skakuj! Ajo! Blisko, blisko, blisko! Ajo! Teraz, za nim! Edgar, lewo! Zap! Szuka!
Outsiders staying calm against the defensive pressure. And the disc is up
Edgar, szuka!
on the far sideline. Great defensive pressure from Uprising, not only a couple of times on the reset handler, making it really difficult to get an easy reset, but then also having two people cover this upline throw, making the catch impossible. And this is another chance for them to break. They're moving easily up the far sideline and are back again on the end zone line. Comfortable moving it towards each other. And then really unlucky in that last connection. Giving Outsiders another chance to end this game now. But if Uprising can keep the defensive pressure up, they might get another chance. Outsiders moving the disc calmly to the far side, to the near side from the far sideline. Great cut here in the middle. Well covered deep cuts by Uprising. But Outsiders happy to just move it up the line and then back into the middle. And really unlucky to not catch that just properly. Sometimes these easy passes are only supposedly easy. You need to throw them with the exact right amount of body tension to make it easy and predictable where they go. And another hack is going up, and can Uprising player can get there? Can it get there? No, it's unfortunately sailing out of bounds on the near sideline. But a great throw, and it's giving them a lot of space to potentially create another turn. Great read and by Outsiders to keep it in the field. Moving it quickly down the far sideline. And another unfortunate error on that far sideline. So I believe is the third opportunity for Uprising to score a break in this point. It looks like there might be either a discussion or an injury call. With 2 players moving in, it's most likely an injury call. And a timeout called in the second half. First timeout in the second half. Third timeout called by Uprising. Let's see what's happening in the open bracket right now. The game between 3SB and Forward is already over. It went 15-5 for 3SB. Ketchup Grass and Amara is currently 12-11 for Ketchup Grass, and Panthers are still leading with 1 point against Terrible Monkeys, 13-12. There are also several other summer tours happening at the same time, which most of them are also being streamed in some capacity. So feel free to also watch those games after this one is finished. There are some games taking place in Heilbronn. In the open division, there's a mixed division taking place in Freiburg. And then there's another open and women's division taking place in Chambry. But the game we care most about right now is the ongoing quarterfinal in the open division in Trnava, here on field 1 between Outsiders and Uprising. Uprising called the timeout in this very, very long and ongoing point, hoping that they can score. They're setting up in a split stack with 3 people on this near sideline and presumably 2 players, one of them isolated on the far sideline. Great breakthrough. And another good inside forehand break. Yeah. That is very unfortunate. It was a great toe-in and grab by Uprising, but the catch needs to be sustained through all related ground contact, and getting up is part of that ground contact. but incredible athletic play. It's really unfortunate that my stream just stopped. We'll see if it's coming back soon. And the game is over. While we unfortunately couldn't watch, Martin Bolwanski assisted to Jan Drozina for the final score. That means the final score is 15-7. Outsiders is in the semi-final. That is probably also the game you will be able to see tomorrow morning at 10:20 in the semi-final against 3SB. Before that, we will stream another women's game from Box Vienna against Fabulous. And as I said before, there will be several games streamed from this summer tour, but again, also from the summer tours in Heilbronn and Chambry, and in the mixed division from Freiburg and Warsaw. I hope you had a pleasant time today. Congratulations to Outsiders, and we'll see you next time. I've been Mara Trapp, and I'll see you soon.